Welcome back to the project. It's the end of week 6 and it's been a bit of an epic week, to be honest. So far in these videos I've talked a lot about the Neolithic projects, the stone tools that we're using, the experiments that we're carrying out. But I thought in this video I'd talk about some of the realities, some of the compromises that we make on large-scale construction projects like this. So, you know, already we have been preparing our vast amount of timbers, and this week the mission was to try and get our 4 main structural posts prepared to go in the ground. And I suppose what I haven't said really on any of these videos so far is what that entails. This project is a blend of ancient and modern, and if I pan the camera around to our construction site, you'll see behind those orange barriers that there are 4 large pits. And those 4 large pits currently are half poured with concrete, and the aim of those pits is to support our 4 main posts and to stop them from rotting. Now this is a decision that's made way above my head on a project like this. This is about the longevity of this building. And this building is going to be an education space for children of all ages that come to Stonehenge and are trying to learn about the Neolithic. And the realities of a very traditionally built structure is that it rots. All of these timbers that we're using have a finite lifespan in the ground, especially in a chalky area like this. So one of the compromises on this project is that the 4 main posts actually sit on a complicated arrangement of stainless steel bases. This is them. And the idea is that these bases will sit on our poured concrete level, and then additional concrete will be poured up to the second ring here. And that provides a massive anchor in the ground. The top plate here with these bolt holes corresponds to the base of our main structural posts. I'll walk you over to this one. So each of our main structural posts, which are looking glorious, at the base have been fitted with resin fitted stainless steel bolts. So part of my job on this project is to ensure that the stainless steel bases are orientated to the bases of these posts and then fit in the ground in just the right way. And to give you an idea of the complexity of that, each of these posts at the top end has a joint, a cup joint with a large tenon through the middle. These are roughed out at the moment, these aren't quite finished, but the tenon through the middle will fit and lock into the purlins that sit above these enormous posts. So there's a lot of work to be done to kind of orientate these posts in the right direction. Each one of these cup joints is slightly different to the next because it takes a specific shape of timber above it. And because, as I'm sure you're probably aware on these videos, we're running slightly behind on this project so far. And some of that delay has been in the modern aspects of this site and the kind of groundworks that have to be performed. And so for this week, for the first time ever on a project, I've used something called a chainsaw. And I've used a chainsaw to simply rough out some of these joints. Now, as an experimental archaeologist, that kind of breaks all of my ethics, really. Because obviously my plan originally was to hew these joints with stone tools and to time all of that to work out, first of all, whether it's possible to make these joints with stone tools, and if it is, secondly, how long that would take. So that's been a major compromise for me this week, is actually hewing these 4 main joints with a chainsaw, roughing them out. They're being finished with hand tools. But all is not lost, because actually our offcuts of these posts, what I'm intending on doing is actually marking out the end of one of these offcuts with the same shaped joint, and then we'll take our time to see if we can create that joint with our stone tools. So hopefully by the end of this project we won't have lost that evidence, but the pressures of a project, the time pressures of having to get things done by certain dates, means that at this stage I've roughed out with a chainsaw. And I'm being honest, because obviously I could present videos that just show the stone tools at work, and that's not what's going on here. We are compromising, but the overall goals are not lost at the end of it. Yesterday we were hewing these joints, and one of our main structural posts started to shake, so that's to split. And this is it here. I'm going to zoom in on the split. So as you can see, we were starting to hew our main cup joint with our tenon, and because it's green oak, it sprung, it split, and the split started to run right down through the trunk. I drew a line where it stopped, and incredibly and slightly terrifyingly, at the base it also appeared. So the split also appeared here. Now at this stage of the game, this is potentially a catastrophe, because all of these fittings are fitted in a workshop in Devon, the modern fittings, and for us to simply go and get another tree is not an option. We have to make this work. If we were Neolithic builders, if we were genuine Neolithic builders, and one of our green oaks split like this, we would probably go to the forest and fell another one, drag it over and cut a new joint in it and use it. But obviously I don't have that option. I have to blend modern with ancient. So the solution, and I wanted to explain it, is that our temporary solution was that using a 2.5 ton static rope, which is this stuff here, we threw a Spanish windlass around that log to stop the split from running. And a Spanish windlass is a very simple thing. It's loops of rope that go around something. You put a bar, in this case an iron bar, through the loops of rope, and you twist. And you twist and you twist and you twist, and you can get many tons of pressure through these loops. They are impossible to move. They are absolutely solid. And that pressure overnight prevented this split from expanding through the timber. So last night, end of play yesterday, we put on our Spanish windlass just to stabilize the timber. And I went home, had a pretty sleepless night, and came back with lots of modern stuff to solve this. As I say, if we were Neolithic, we'd get a new tree, but we don't have this option. We've got all of our bolts fitted in that end. They've got to fit on those bases. So once the windlass was in, today what we've been doing is drilling, hand augering holes through the tree, still with a hand auger. Lots of hard work by an amazing team of volunteers. And as you can see here, what we've done is we've pushed through threaded bar, 16mm threaded bar, put on some square washers, and we have solved the problem. Well, we're hoping we've solved the problem. What we'll do next week is we'll cut all of this off and we will plug these holes with oak to try and make them as invisible as possible. Now, I know many of you will be sitting at home probably going, but that's cheating, that's cheating, that's cheating. And yes, it is cheating. And the point is that this is an essential fix on this project. Without this essential last minute fix, the whole project will be delayed, and we simply don't have the options that those Neolithic people had. I wanted to be honest, because that's the point of these videos, is to show you some of the issues that we face. But all I can say is that the volunteers on site today, they saw me stressed this morning. In fact, they've seen me either really happy or stressed so far on this project, but they have literally worked their socks off to make this happen. And many thanks to those volunteers. So the plan, hopefully, is that next week, with these solutions on this split timber, that next week we can start to put some of these timbers in the ground. And the aim is that once these 4 main posts are upright and the purlins crisscross their tops, we should be able to clear this site of all of the modern, get rid of machines and all of that stuff, and actually start to build this structure in the way that Neolithic people would have built. So stay tuned, and hopefully I can show you more of the issues that we face and the way that we solve them. And very soon, by next video, end of next week, there should be something in the ground that's starting to look pretty incredible. And then really for us, the real work starts. We start to take all of these timbers that we've prepared. We've spent 5 weeks now preparing timbers, and we can start to really create this incredible structure with compromises, but still getting to lots of the detail that tells us more about the Neolithic world 5,000 years ago at Stonehenge. Thanks for watching. See you soon.